Hey everybody, Madam Roy back again. Well, today I thought I'd show you my other recent pickup. At the same thrift store that I got the compact Presario, that very next day I picked up this. Now this one is an HP Pavilion model, I believe it's an 8965C. This one dates from about 2000, the year 2000. I wasn't really specifically looking to get this one, but again, they had rolled the prices back. It had been out for over 2 weeks, and they decided to lower this one also to $6.98. So I couldn't really pass it up. Give you a good view of it. Right on top here, HP did this for a while. When you pull this up, this is just a place to store some blank CDs. It was kind of if you ask me, it was kind of a dumb thing to do because it just makes the case kind of look a little cheapish. But that was the cases back then. They were all way over-engineered. And that doesn't always close right. It's kind of gotten warped, I think, over the years. Moving on down, we have the original HP CD Writer Plus. This is a 4x4x24, so it writes at 4 speed, rewrites at 4 speed, and reads at 24 speed. I actually had an HP CD burner drive that I purchased. It was the very first one back in 2001, and was almost identical to this, had the exact same speeds. And this one still works perfectly. I haven't really burnt any discs with it, but it plays CDs just fine. Below that is actually a drive I had replaced. Originally, that was an HP DVD-ROM drive. And a little interesting history about these. The DVD-ROM drives that HP used in these were Samsung drives. And I've actually had several of these machines in the past. The drive itself would play DVDs just fine, but it would not play any CDs whatsoever. And that's not the first time I've had an issue with the drives in these HPs. It was also an old drive, so I figured I might as well put one that I had sitting around in. This one's just a combo drive, a DVD-ROM and a CD burner. So in effect, this system actually has 2 CD burners. Right below that is just an extra slot. HP, it says HP right there. Below that, you see the Hewlett-Packard Pavilion and the 3¼ floppy drive, which does work just fine. I'm sorry, that's 3½, not 3¼ There's some information about it. People PC, that was an internet ISP back probably 10, 12 years ago. What is in it is an Intel Pentium 3. It's 668 megahertz, and it was designed for Windows 98. Right now, I'm actually running Windows 2000 on it, because, of course, I already have a Windows 98 system. Right here under this drawer, you can see you have 2 USB 1.1 ports and a serial port. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, I'd rather this have been a joystick port, like on that compact. But like I said, that's kind of rare to find. So, you know, that's the reason I didn't pick this up initially, because both of these computers were there at the same time. But I really wanted that front joystick port, so I'm still glad I picked up the compact. Let's go ahead and look at what I have running right now. Again, I said I'm running Windows 2000. I'm running Winamp right now. This is version 5.621, which is the latest version that will run on Windows 2000, and it does everything that I want it to do. I mean, it's probably about 5 or 6 releases from the latest one, but it has basically every feature that I would need. I've put on almost my whole music library here. I spend time ripping all my CDs. You can see there's a lot of music on here. And yes, for copyright reasons, I'm not going to actually play anything. Sorry, folks. So we'll go ahead and exit out of that right now. And you can see there's a picture of Simon. I have them as my wallpaper. I took this the other day. Isn't he cute? I'll go over some of the programs that are on here. We got the Microsoft Office 2000 suite. Again, I'm using Opera for a browser. That Opera is something a lot of you may not be aware of. It's not a very popular browser, but it works best for Windows 98, Windows 2000 systems. You can get a fairly recent update for it, so that's really the best one. Firefox will work, but it's not quite as good. The Winamp, got VLC on here. An old version of ULEAD iPhoto, which actually came with my Print Artist 4.0 disc that I picked up at the thrift store the other day. Print Shop Deluxe. Speed Fan. Believe it or not, the latest version of Speed Fan will actually work in this system. For those of you who don't know what Speed Fan is, it's a neat little program. It actually tells you how hot your system is running, and it tells you how fast your fans are spinning. Takes just a minute to open up. As you can see right there, my system is running at 49 degrees, which is a good temperature for this. It's a Pentium 3. Looked it up, they run anywhere between 48 and 58 degrees Celsius, so I'm good there. And you can actually tell that it's telling me that it's a good temperature. Now, see, when it hits 50, it warns you that it's getting a little hot, but I've never seen it go over 50, so I'm not too worried about that. Plus, I did put new thermal grease on the CPU, so I know everything's running well. The fan here, this is kind of an interesting story. You can see it's running at 2,265 RPMs. Now, I actually had to replace the fan in this computer. This does not actually have a quote-unquote CPU fan. Inside the case, the CPU actually just has a little heatsink on it. Above the CPU is a duct going from the top of the CPU out to the outside of the case. And inside that duct is an 80 millimeter case fan. Now, the case fan that was in there originally was toast. It was making tons of noise, and the computer was warning that it was going bad. So I replaced it with the one that I have right now in there. The one issue that I found out with this new fan, though, is it takes a minute to spin up to full speed. It's a 2,000 RPM rated fan, but it won't actually get to that until the operating system starts loading. During the post, it runs at about 1,800 RPM. Well, problem with that is the computer thinks the fan is going bad because it's not spinning up quick enough. So I actually had to go into the BIOS and disable the hardware monitoring so the computer wouldn't think that the fan was going bad. If you guys ever run into that problem, what you want to make sure you do is go ahead and just disable that. As long as you're sure that the system is running, the fan is running fast enough to keep the system cool. Now we'll go ahead and go over some of the specs here. There's the information. It's Microsoft Windows 2000 is the version. I didn't register it to me. It's an OEM version. And there's just some information about it. You can pause this if you want to read it. And it does. It actually has 512 megabytes of RAM, but for some reason, Windows 2000 sees that as 523,808 kilobytes. Now, going back to the speed fan, there's another interesting aspect to this. This is the smart test for the hard drive. What this lets you do, you just select your hard drive. It'll actually tell you how good your drive is, the fitness and the performance. In my case, I actually looked up the numbers on this when I ran a test. It's 100% performance and 98% for the fitness. And the reason it's 98% for the fitness is it looked like it had a few errors back, heaven knows how long ago. It doesn't tell you exactly. But that's pretty good for a hard drive. So this will tell you, if you think you're having problems with your hard drive, you download the SpeedFan app, you go into the Smart section, and you can click on this extended test, and it'll actually rate your hard drive and tell you how much life it has left into it. That's kind of a neat little program. Video card wise, this has it's an NVIDIA. It's a GeForce 2 MX 100-200 card. It's a 32 megabyte GeForce video card, so you know it's definitely the original one for the system. Excuse me, everybody. Got some allergies today. Here's the information on that. And I had originally thought about upgrading this to maybe like a GeForce 3 with like maybe 64 megabytes of memory. But to be honest with you, the types of games I play on here, this is actually the perfect card for that. I made that mistake once with a Windows 2000 system I had a few years back. I actually upgraded to a FX 5200, which had 128 megabytes of memory. And I thought that would be really nice. It would let me run some newer games. And it did, but the problem was some of my older games wouldn't run properly with that card. They would actually run too fast. So I think at least for now, this the card that's going to stay in there. Unless I can maybe get my hands on a 64 megabyte either GeForce 2, maybe 200 or 400 series model. If any of you guys have something like that, just let me know. I really like to maybe get that off you. Let me know what you want for it, and of course I'll pay for shipping. Alright, so that's about it. That's my new Windows 2000 system. I'll go ahead and go over the list of games again. Let's see, we're at Speed Fan. Sierra, this is, I have the You Don't Know Jack, the 5th Dimension on here because my other compact, it's a little too slow to run that. This is all the Print Artist 4.0 program. I have Zuma Deluxe and Zuma Revenge. Picasso's on here. These are all the Luxor games. These are similar to Zuma Deluxe, but they kind of work backwards. You, instead of shooting the ball from the center, you shoot it at the you shoot it from the bottom. Microsoft Works, Image Burn. This is for my PhotoSmart printer over here because I actually was able to get that to work with this. Was shocked they had a Windows 2000 driver. Battleship and Jeopardy, Bricks of Egypt, and then Easy Cleaner, Deep Burner, Power DVD, CC Cleaner, Avast, and the Oslogic Disk Defragmenter, which is really good because the defragmenter that's built into Windows 2000 sucks. It is one of the worst. It takes forever. It's almost as bad as Windows 98's defragmenter. Alright, so that's it for the HP Pavilion Desktop. I'm not going to take this one apart and show you guys because this one is really hard to take apart and get back together. You have to take almost the entire system apart to even be able to see the motherboard. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for some more computer-related videos coming in the near future. Have a good day, everybody.